Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. I apologize for putting another one. I know it might have made some crackling noises, but I had it in my hand and I forgot. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester. The name of my channel is Manifesting Magic with Dr. J, and of course, I'm Dr. J. On this channel, I talk about everything related to manifesting the type of life that you choose, not that everybody else chooses, that you choose. And some steps, some very practical, pragmatic steps that you can take to bring those manifestations into fruition, right? What I'm discussing today is an oldie but goodie, and I used to do this all the time. It discusses how you feel yourself into the next level of where you're trying to be or a goal you're trying to accomplish, right? So I did this to attract a vehicle. Because, okay, I always wanted a Range Rover back in the day. I had a really specific type of Range Rover that I wanted, a really specific build. It was the build that I wanted, and I was like, gotta have that Range Rover. I didn't want a sport. I just want the Range Rover. And I'm not very materialistic, so something like that was always just like, if I can think of one material thing that I think I would think is cool and like, it probably would be that Range Rover. And so for a time, I was on part-time income, being an adjunct professor and all this stuff because I wanted to raise my own children. And I was like, if I make my budget a shoestring budget, I can afford to be with them and to afford to take care of us, right? So that was always my goal. But in the meanwhile, I was like, hey, I deserve a Range Rover. Well, needless to say, during most of their years, I did not have it. So when I finally got to the place where I was willing to have the courage to go out on a limb to make a move like that, it came in a very inconspicuous way. But the part about the feeling is that I used to really deliberately sit and do the exercises of what it felt like sitting in the car. I would sit in my little beautiful Toyota Avalon that I used to love. I had for 6 years. I love that car. It's my favorite car. I love the Range Rover. I love the Avalon. It was the smoothest little old person car. I love cars that drive like that. And it was a Toyota, so I didn't have a lot of problems with it at all. So I sat there and I would sit in my car in the garage and I would shut my eyes. And I would picture that my steering wheel was the one that I had, in the Range Rover, that where I test drove it. I would picture the doors being the same, even the armrests are kind of special in the Range Rovers. And so that is my mindset. I would always do that. And I would listen to this audio. It was like, let the wind blow through your hair, And then I made my own affirmations that would be like, I look so cool in my beautiful white Range Rover. I love the black leather seats in my beautiful white Range Rover. I mean, down to a T. And needless to say, because I'm a master manifester, the opportunity showed up at a very, very good time, and I was able to jump into it. And needless to say, some other situations happened right after that, and I was able to pay that thing off for $4,000. I'm just going to leave it at that. That was a miracle. And when I tell you the totality of what I paid for that Range Rover was $11,000, yeah. I'll save that story for another day. But yeah, 70,000 miles on it, mint condition, garaged, I was just like, So what I did every day when that was happening was I would really feel myself into the place of creating what I thought the energy of that environment might have been. And I've done this with several things in my life, right? I've created conversations that didn't exist. I've done interviews that didn't exist. And if my brother will tell you, when I grew up, we had one of those kitchens with the little windows that went into the living room from the kitchen. I used to literally do commercials in that little window all day. I didn't plan to do that. I was really wacky. I would just walk up to it and I would be cleaning. And as cleaning went, I started talking to myself, and it was just the way that I did things. And I would act like I was presenting in front of a crowd and be like, and say, this is how you wash the dishes. I had to be like 11 or 12. You wipe like this to make sure all the crumbs are off, and then you want to use Dawn detergent. And my brother used to make so much fun of me if he caught me doing it. Like, he was like, you're crazy. What are you doing? But it was just who I've always been. So I never had a problem presenting. But I remember always feeling myself into the environment before I was actually there. And I still do that now. If I'm teaching a class or I'm lecturing or someone asks me to present something, I have to be alone, and I will walk the entirety of the house and do that speech out loud. And that's why I'm be like, wait, I can't say that. And this is how I would normally teach. Even writing books, I would feel myself into the place of a complete project. And I would talk like I was having an interview about the book with someone else and say, oh, the reason why I wrote this book is because, and I do all this out loud. I have zero shame in talking to myself. I think I am a great audience. So anyway, try that Neville Goddard approach, right? Because I failed to mention Neville Goddard, but I think if anybody's into the metaphysical world, you might have come across his books already. If you haven't, Neville Goddard, he talks a lot about feeling yourself into your manifestation, right? So a lot of times with women, it's like, I want to be a confident, strong woman that's independent and that's also beautiful and looks like she takes care of herself. The first thing people will tell you is go get the costume. Go get a nice outfit. Go get your nails done. Go do the hair. And then walk around and just be confident and free and start creating that role for yourself. Start feeling out that role because it's all acting, people. I mean, we may have some ways that we act that are just relaxed and easy because we've learned how to act those ways really well. But other than that, it's all acting. So when you see people that are very confident, you're just like, how do you get that confidence? Sometimes it's not even thorough. And you meet them, you're around them, you're in their vicinity for a while. You can see the confidence is not thorough, but I don't knock that because it's better to go out into the world with a pseudo confidence rather than going out there feeling like you're crap, because that doesn't serve you, right? So start trying to feel yourself into those things that you are wanting, right? And it's okay if you're a woman and you're like, I want to be married, right? Close your eyes, see what it's going to be like if you were walking down the aisle. That perfect guy for you was on your shoulder and you got up to the altar. See who would be performing your ceremony. Look out in the crowd and see who would be on the first row. See who would have the biggest smile on their face. See who would be crying for you. Like all these things. Feel yourself into the manifestation to create a faster result from the universe because it's really just frequency. Once you feel like it, once you are it, you will become it. Once you feel the feelings, once you get into the space, you can't do anything but get on the frequency of that thing you're trying to attract because you're breaking down all those walls that are saying it's not here today. It's not here today. Well, I'm tired of talking about that. Let's talk about this. When I was a young girl, I decided to write books because I know it was the best way for me to express myself. So this interview is for somebody, later on when they're trying to interview me about being a best-selling author. So this is what I mean. Feel yourself into that position. Even if you got to use your meditation time for this, I think it's sometimes better served than just clearing your mind. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can learn how to feel yourself into your manifestations. And if you're having trouble with the feelings, scripting first is always helpful for the feeling part to show up afterwards. So scripting first, because I described full-fledged houses and windows and ways I want to live, and I live it now. Scripting first, and then creating the feeling behind it of what you think the feeling might be. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day and keep shining, keep being a master manifester, and everything is going to always keep on working out for you. Bye.